Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm hoping my internet connection is good this time. Welcome. This is Sow and Tare. We have live every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. My name is Katrina. And basically what I do is I go through the comments. We talk about the things that people want to talk about. And then I have a planned topic of discussion partway through. And we talk about that. And then we go back to other things to talk about. So welcome. And let's get started. Please keep all comments family friendly. Erin has a second like. Welcome, Erin. And Dawn is also here. Welcome, Dawn. Glad you're here. Oh, Vase Place is fourth like. Oh my gosh. No one's claiming first, huh? No one's claiming that. Vase Place is my moderator. You'll see her in blue, and she catches the bad guys. She also has a live chat on Saturday mornings and raises quail and cuy. There you go. Welcome. Buster. Hey, Buster. Welcome. And everybody's saying hi. Man, Verna is already going to get coffee. All right. Erin says, how's everyone doing this evening? I'm doing pretty good. We just transferred some rabbits. We butchered rabbits and on Saturday and on Sunday. So we did 6 on Saturday and 5 on Sunday. And so we have 2 separate coolers for them. We're doing ice water bath. And for them, it takes about 3 days. So we just dumped out the water and redid the ice. And there you go. That's what we just did after work. I have been working all day. So other than that, I have one other thing that I'm gonna tell everybody later once we get into it here. So thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well. Essa Swanson's breathes heavy. I got mine in. I think I was 5, 6, and 7. Oh, Steve, you're funny. Welcome. Vase Place says she's doing wonderful. Going to make ice cream bites out of homemade ice cream, then start in the freeze dryer in the morning. That sounds wonderful. That really, really does. Awesome. Steve says, greetings, everyone from the Mississippi Delta. I know that there is tons of storms going on. We were fine. We have another storm happening. It rained all day, like all day, still raining. So I hope everybody weathered the storms well and that you're all okay. So there's my hope for you guys. Oh, Dawn was the first like. She's claiming it now. Welcome. Oh, it looks like Steve is late. Man, you guys have a competition here. Oh, wow. Verna made coconut ice cream and banana ice cream. That sounds wonderful. That sounds really good. I am a fan of ice cream. Oh, yeah. So yeah, Dawn's working good. Manuel is sitting next to me, and he just turned on my live, and I just heard myself talk. All right. Oh, dramatic entrance. That's what you're doing, Steve? Awesome. Yeah, that's what we call it. Vase Place says, yeah, it isn't late until after Katrina gets here. Okay, I'm here now. Coconut ice cream was made from coconut cream and toasted coconut. When are you coming to California, Vase Place? Gonna ship me some of that? Aaron says, Steve will give you a free pass tonight. Oh my gosh, you love free stuff? Okay. So Vase Place is going to scoop it out onto the trays in bite-sized portions. That sounds good. Hey, Diana Tuttle Tut Farms here. Welcome. Good evening, all, she says. And yum, Dawn says, I do it with coconut milk, full fat, but not the toasted coconut. That sounds yummy. Coconut is great. Let's just leave it at that. And coconut ice cream is probably better. Hey, Ed Got Bates here. Welcome. And Guidros is here. welcome, Kristen. I just had a brain fart. I think that's your name. She says, hey, Christina. There we go. I knew I was messing up a little bit. Sorry, Christina. Everybody's saying hi. JJ's here. Hi, all. Welcome, JJ. Steve says, hey, Ed, thanks for the reminder. Oh, did he remind everybody? Oh, Base Play says she had to wait for the fresh coffee pot to finish. All right. All right. Everybody's saying hi. A smiley face. Do you have kits yet? Buster, you won. That was my other thing that happened. And you didn't see my short. I made a short last night at like 12:15 in the morning. Yes, we have kits. So Parmesan the Buck can stay. He proved himself because Meatball just had this many babies. Meatball is a bunny for those that are new. So yes, Meatball kindled probably around midnight or a little before. I was up last night late. I was working on stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do my week in review video. So then I'm like, oh, I need to set my alarm for getting up tomorrow. Where's my phone? Well, I was out with the bunnies. So I went out to go with the bunnies and I'm like, ooh, let's check.
I think it was planned, leaving the phone out there.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear Manuel saying, I think that was planned, leaving the phone out there. It wasn't. So I use the flashlight on my phone and put it on top of the area that doesn't have. So they're in a covered area, and so the area on top goes. You can shine light directly in. So I put it on top whenever I go in, so that way they have like a little ceiling light, and so that's why I forgot it because it automatically goes off. Anyway, so I went out there. And she had just had them. The afterbirth was either gone or not out yet. So it wasn't there. But she had all her babies cuddled up and they were so cute and so tiny. And I opened it up, kind of looked, counted it, make sure everybody looks like they're doing good. Close it up. I didn't even take them out. And then this morning I did count them and make sure that they look all healthy and stuff. And so they look great. She has some little babies and some big babies, and which you guys will see soon. I have video of that. But because she has so many, I mean, she's a fairly big rabbit. So Meatball is a Californian and Black New Zealand mix cross. So Tortellini, the one next to her in the hutches that you see in videos, she's mom, and then Parmesan is dad. And they actually, she's a really big rabbit for me. I mean, she's not like huge, but she's a big rabbit, and she always has big litters. And this time she had 10. So rabbits that have big litters often have small ones and big ones, and maybe sometimes the small ones don't get that far, and they might be aborted or naturally aborted, or maybe they die early or something like that. But Meatball is such a great mom that everybody that arrives alive stays alive, except for the one from the last batch that got out of the nest box too early and I think succumbed to the elements, because rabbits don't really have a way to get them back in. They don't pick them up like cats pick up kittens. But yeah, she's been a really good mom in the past. She's a really good mom now. It's so cute because when I checked on them, last night I checked on them. I put the nest box back in the corner, and she went right up there. It's like, okay, everybody okay? And she went in and she nursed. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yes, Buster, you won the thumbs up. I don't know what you win. Thumbs up. So yes, if you want to see it, you look up my short. I did that last night, so I think no one saw it. I haven't figured out yet how exactly shorts work. I think they're pretty much available like right at the beginning. It pops up on everything, and then after probably a period of time, it stops populating them. I don't know. Anyway, so yes, Meatball has babies. Vaseplay says, We had tornado warnings going off earlier today, all as well. I'm glad everything is well because I saw some damage, some news articles that came through. And yeah, I don't want tornadoes. I went to school I did my undergraduate schooling in the Midwest, and I don't need tomatoes, and I don't need tomatoes. I do need tomatoes. You probably heard him laugh at me. I don't need tornadoes, and I don't need humidity. Those are the things I don't need. So, but I do need tomatoes. JJ says, "Ooh, we had bad storms and tornadoes, but all is fine. I'm glad everything is fine." Yeah, you guys had was it a derecho that went through that had all of the thunderstorms and the tornadoes along with it? That's crazy weather. Yeah. And yeah, so Verna's saying, glad you're safe, Buster. Oh, we had storms last night in Oklahoma. Yeah, Buster, I saw some of the footage of the results of those storms. So I'm glad you're okay. Vase Place is saying the same thing. I'm glad everybody's okay. Everybody's saying it. Oh, Vase Place, sure, I can send you some of each. You don't have to. I was just saying they sound very good. Hey, PJ's here. Hello. How did the storm treat you? PJ's in New York. I know this was like a countrywide storm. We got it last week, and a lot of the people who are talking here got it recently, last night. Yeah. Hope you're doing well. Dawn says we had bad storms and we're under 50-mile-an-hour wind advisory from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. this afternoon. It blew a tiny bird through the porch door when the wind blew it open. Oh my gosh. Wow. I hope that bird was okay. It probably hang out there for a little while. Yeah. Hopefully it was good. There was one time, I'm just going to tell a quick story because it has to do with the bird inside. I think it was in Lowe's, and there was a hummingbird flying around. And sometimes in these big box stores, they come in the big doors or through the nursery or whatever, and they fly around. They get stuck. They don't really know how to get out. But there was a lady with a cart full of flowers, and it came down and it landed on her cart. I think it was just so exhausted and so hungry. It's like, oh, flowers, energy, yum, and it went down and landed. And everybody looked at her, and she I don't even think she had paid yet. And they're like, go take it outside. And so she's on with a cart and she's going outside. And when she got outside, it went off. So there's a trick for if you have a hummingbird stuck somewhere, just bring it flowers. Well, hopefully that bird did okay. Everybody's saying hi. Mango ice cream sounds good, made with coconut milk. Manuela like that. I would not. I'm not a mango person. Although I have not had all the different fun, rare kinds of mangoes that exist. And I know that I've heard if they're fresh, like fresh, like off the tree fresh, then they're better. But I don't like that latexy smell and taste, and ugh. So you can keep your mango ice cream. Share it with Manuel. He's laughing at me. Oh, you can ship the dehydrated ice cream. That is so cool. Yeah, because it's dehydrated. Yeah, I mean, it's not even dehydrated. It's freeze dried, which is dehydrated and frozen. Well, frozen then dehydrated. Yeah, close enough. I'm sorry, Gidros. A lot of K names to remember. Mine is a K name. I get called Katie. I get called Catherine. I get called Christina. I get called Kristen. I get called all sorts of things. So I am sorry because I feel your pain. Oh boy. Edgot Bait says freeze dried ice cream good anytime. I agree. Vase Place saw the short this morning. You're probably still up, right? Good. I just think it was so funny to look in there and be like, oh my gosh, those are brand new. And then, of course, I looked in Tortellini's and she hadn't had them yet. Tortellini has not had hers yet. Tortellini is a black New Zealand rabbit. There you go. Hey, Witch Doctor's here. Good evening, everyone. How's your weather? Good evening. Good to see you. weather is rainy. That is the answer. It rained all day. And so we got 0.63 of an inch. That was this morning's check of the rain gauge. And I haven't actually checked it. Manuel, when you went out to do the water, did you see the rain gauge at all? No, he didn't see it. He wasn't looking. So yeah. Rainy here. I hope it's good there. JJ says, oh wow, that is a lot of bunny. Yep. So her biggest litter that she's had with me, because I did get her from someone who had all the rabbits came from a lady who did 4-H, and then she graduated high school and needed a place for them basically, and I bought them. The most she's had at once with me is 14, but 11 were alive, so there was stillborn. And she has raised 11. Is that right? I think it's only 11. She's raised 11 all the way through. So she's a very good mom. Yeah. You'll get to see them grow up, and then we will eat them. Sorry for anybody who is under the illusion that we're not going to eat them. The parents are pets, basically. They get pets and massages and, fun time. Yeah, there we go. All right, everybody saying hi to Witch Doctor. Congratulations on them, Buster says. Yes. I am happy because this was the last straw for Parmesan. Parmesan is the buck. And he, both girls were not pregnant this last time. And so I was like, man, is Parmesan off his game, because he had missed before, but it was still hot. Anyway, so I'm glad that he can stay because he's a very nice boy. Hey, Andy Rabbit's here. Hello. Andy Rabbit, I have a question for you, but we're going to wait for people to come in because it's my topic of discussion. I think you know the answer. Hey, Cycle Word is here. Hello. Hi, everyone. Hope all is well. All is well here. I hope all is well with you guys there. Andy Rabbit saying hi. Everybody saying hi. All right. Stills and Squeals Barbecue. Welcome. Wind in the West Virginia tonight. Well, wind is kind of the story of the whole country, I think. So welcome. PJ's Family Farm says snow just coming in. Okay, so you're on the beginning stages of that. So hopefully all your animals are already fed for the night and you can settle down. Actually, you're ahead of us, so your animals are probably fed. All right, everybody's saying hi. Oh, Vase Place says just got told our wind advisory is not ending until midnight. Today it was, my phone was going off all the time because it has the weather alerts on it, and it's like, warning, advisory, this, that, and we were under flood advisory a few times for aerial flood advisory, which is like it's raining so much that it's going to puddle on the ground before it has time to go anywhere. It was doing that all day. So yeah, just stay safe. There you go. Dawn says, Katrina, I had to open the door and hold it open, and when it saw the door open, it took off. Awesome. That means it wasn't too banged up. And Stills and Squeals says that your wind advisory is till 2 p.m. tomorrow. Stay safe. Yeah, so Vaseplay says if a mango tastes like latex, then it isn't ripe. Some of them smell, the smell is off-putting to me too, but some of them that are riper smell less like latex, but I'm still adverse to it. So I would like to try a non-common variety. We get, Manuel, what are the two varieties of mangoes that we get here? We get the regular grocery store variety. What's the other one?
Manila.
Did I say that right?
Manila is the little one, and the other one is the bigger one.
Okay, so Manila is the little one. That's probably why they call it Manila envelope. It's the same color. Anyway, I've had them both. I like the small one better than the big one, but I still don't like it. So, Yeah, but there are tons of different varieties, and I would like to try one right off a tree that is a good variety. What you see in the grocery store is in the grocery store because they because either they ripen over shipping or over a long period of time, or they pack well and don't get bruised up. So those are the reasons. It's not for flavor. That's not why you see them in the grocery store. At least not, mainstream. Ed is agreeing with you, Verna. Aaron says mangoes are delicious. Same with figs. Yeah, so the figs don't smell latexy or like taste latexy, but they have the white sap is a latex. Basically, it's a wound heal, is what it is. They heal themselves with that covering. But yeah, figs are definitely different. Definitely different off your tree. Yeah. An inch of snow so far, PJ says. Wow. 57 degrees here, Ed Got Bait says. Andy says, my weather was nice today. I took my granddaughter to the park after school. I think you're the only one that had nice weather today. I mean, I'm not saying rain isn't nice. It's nice. But yeah. 56. So you guys, Base Place and Ed are a degree off. You're not close though, are you? Hey, Truck 3 Warden. Welcome. Had 14 inches of snow last week, then it rained all morning. So basically you have slush or you have a bunch of melty gunk. That sounds fun. Is it going to freeze again is the question, because once you get slushy, it's not fun it gets slushy and then it freezes again. It's not fun for anybody, especially not to drive in. Yeah. Sounds like a nice day. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I think it rained early morning. Someone told me, but I didn't wake up. Aaron had 79 here today. I don't know what the temperature was here today. I just know that it was raining all day. I mean, it was nice, but I'm okay with cooler temperatures too. All right. Hey, Rick's here. Rick Sumner. Welcome. Hello from Benson, Arizona. Awesome. So we're going to keep going in comments. I do have a topic coming up soon, and we'll go from there. Everybody saying hi. Ed says it was 83 a few days ago. Wow. Aaron had the AC on for several days now. That is warm. 58 here right now. Andy says this morning was a cold, windy morning. Yeah, we had wind today. We had rain. It was going one way, and then it was going straight down, and then it was going the other way. And actually, the new rabbits that we have, new as in they're young, their feeder, the two that we didn't process, their feeder got rain in it. I don't think it's ever gotten rain in it before, because it's under a cover and there's an umbrella next to it, and the rain doesn't go this way usually. It goes this way. So I scooped all that out. I was gonna toss it out, but they started eating it. So I'm like, you guys can eat it. I'll leave the feeder empty until that dries and then put food in. So I was very surprised that was the food got wet. It was ridiculous. Yeah, wind. JJ loves the smell of mango skin. It smells like pine tree. I don't differentiate between the skin and the mango. Maybe I should. I don't know. I'll tell you guys when I have a good one. PJ says our storm supposed to last until 7 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. Base Space says I like the long yellow ones. I think that's the Manila, but Manila. I just know there's only 2 in the store here. JJ says I don't like storms during the dark. You can't see if a tornado is coming. Yeah, I had an experience. I was in Iowa, and camping, I've camped in storms. That's no problem. But we're camping, and then tornadoes went through. And it was before I was supposed to get on an airplane the next day. Like, it was like, oh, let's stay in the campground. There we go. And of course the campground was empty. No one's camping in a rainstorm. I've camped in the rain before. It's fine. But 3 tornadoes went through. That's what we found out. And all the flights were delayed because everybody that were supposed to go out the night before did not go out. And this was a dome tent that had like the poles that go over, and that was slapping us in the back. Like there wasn't any place to go to get to. We could hear the sirens from town, and that was a scary time. So I don't want to experience tornadoes. But you're right. If it's dark, you can't see them coming. But if you hear the sound like a train, take cover. So earthquakes can also sound like a freight train. I've heard that before at my grandma's house, which is somewhat locally. She's no longer with us, but when there was I forget where it was centered, but you could hear it coming. You could hear the earthquake coming, and it sounded like a freight train. It sounded like you were right on the tracks, and it was coming at you and coming by you. So yeah. Yeah. Unless you live by the tracks. Okay, that's exactly what freight train. Yeah. Exactly what you listen for. See, I don't have enough experience to listen for those things. I mean, I would hear it for sure. Wow. Stills and Squeals says, well, so far today I have 10 hatched out of 41 total Easter eggers and Rhode Island Reds. Second incubator has 32 of the same, goes on lockdown tomorrow. Lots of peepers on top of all the quail. That's awesome. Awesome. I have not raised either one of those kinds of chickens. I have 2 barred rocks and 1 Buff Orpington. I always have trouble saying that because I want to say 1 Oviraptor because that's her name. We have Oviraptor is the Buff Orpington, and the barred rocks are Rexy and Smilo. So those are the only ones I have. I'm in town, so I can't have a whole bunch of chickens, but they are sweet girls. Especially Oviraptor when it's summer and she gets all cuddly. She's my cuddle chicken. Andy Rabbit says, Steve, it's a different kind. It's a kinda but different, but the same sound. Yep. Truck 3 Warden says, we have ice. 3rd time it has rained this winter. So it's a slip and slide. Oh, wow. It froze, huh? Fell last week, so I can't wait for spring. Do you have crampons or crampons? Verna, what's the one that you use? There's another one that's out there. But yeah, if you live in areas that gets ice, I suggest you get something to put on your shoes so you don't fall. I remember one time I grew up in the high desert in Oregon, and it never got icy. Like it was, we didn't get ice storms. Over in the valley, they got ice storms, stuff like that. But we weren't used to getting that. And I remember one day, the schools never canceled. It was always 2-hour late start, never canceled. So my friend and I used to meet. We would walk to the bus stop together. I lived on this court. She lived on this court, and we would walk and then meet at the, where the roads come together, and then go on to the bus stop. 7/10 of a mile away. And we were walking, and it was like slippy slidey. And we came upon my dad, who the van had gone off the road just because the road was banked funny, and he had stopped, and it just kept on going and hit a little tiny tree and stopped. So it wasn't even going that fast, and there wasn't any damage or anything like that, but he was crawling across the road because he couldn't stand up because it was so icy. Then we found out it was, school was delayed, and we decided to walk the whole neighborhood, and we counted 11 cars on the side of the road on that 7/10 of a mile stretch. And this is like closed, it's all courts. It doesn't have through traffic in the neighborhood. So those are the people that that were off the road. And then the cinder truck. So where I grew up, we they don't use sand or salt on the roads. They use cinder, which is a volcanic rock, and it's like crushed to be like that big. And the cinder truck was actually stuck on the top of a hill and had run out of cinder. But the butte that we lived on was a cinder butte. And so they had a shovel, and it was shoveling off the stuff from previous years and the stuff that had eroded on the side of the road to get down the hill. So that was my story there. No ice, thank you very much. And still 2-hour late start, didn't even cancel. SS Swanson says 75 quail eggs went into lockdown, had a 75% fertility rate. I know my hen roo ratio is off. Off which way? Are you low on roos? But hey, 75 eggs in the incubator is okay. There you go. JJ says, when we had that earthquake in West Virginia, it sounded like a bunch of 18-wheeler flying down the street. Yeah. It does. Earthquakes don't always sound like that, but the big ones you can hear coming. Like, especially, I think it's if it's a surface, more on the surface, than that is the case. Where I am now, this house, we basically get two kinds of earthquakes. We get one that's centered south and east of Gilroy, and that is basically, it just goes like this, and that's it. Just one jolt, and that's it. If it's centered in the hills and the Santa Cruz Mountains, then we get a roll. And I just know where it comes from because there's been enough small ones. I'm like, oh, that's from over there. That's from over there. There you go. Yeah. All right. Baseplay says, stay safe. Falling on ice is not fun. No, it is not. It is not. Andy Rabbit says, I'm saving eggs up to hatch, going to set on the 8th. So they will hatch after I get home from my dad's. Awesome. Going to the North Pole. Truck 3 Warden says, no, Verna, it's not. The hound just looked at me and kept walking. But is that a livestock guardian dog? Tried to herd me to my feet. Jeez. Yeah, I bet that pressure really helped you get up too, right? Maybe grabbing onto the dog might, huh? Yeah, so you guys have eggs below you guys right now, and I have Egyptian fees from my Shire farm that I started a couple days ago. So they will be here in a couple weeks. Yeah, so I'm doing Egyptian fees. Awesome. Where did I go? Yes, I am, Steve. You're going to the North Pole? Andy Rabbit says, hounds are useless unless you are hunting. Uh-oh. And GSD. I want to say it's livestock guardian dog. What is GSD? Spell it out for me, guys. Oh, it was a fall on ice that caused all problems. Uh-oh. You've been recovering from 13 years. Yeah, base place, that's no good. Ice, stay inside if it's icy. That's my advice. If you have to go out, use crampons or walking sticks or something that goes into the ice. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, hounds are good for putting me to sleep. I love their long howling barks. Aw. He keeps the fox, coyote, and rabbits away, so he does do his job. Truxie Warden says, awesome. My neighbor had a hound dog. He was like the big ones. I don't know what the different kinds are, but he was big. And he was a sweetheart. He fell in love one time. I was dog sitting. I'm the neighborhood dog sitter. I was dog sitting, and I took him for a hike, and he met this lady dog, and met at this intersection. They were smelling each other. They were talking. They were doing their own thing. And man, we were going in different directions, and she walked away with her people, and he let out this most like heart-jerking howl. He's like, and you just know that his heart just broke to have that lady dog go out of his life forever. He was such a funny guy. And we used to say about him that he has friends and friends he hasn't met yet. That's it. If he ignores someone, you know to ignore them. So, yeah. Dawn says, I was in a campground and tornadoes came and we had to get out of the RV. So everyone had to go to the nasty concrete bathrooms. It was not fun. Yeah, we didn't have any structures at this campground that we were at. Yeah. Dawn, I grew up in the bathrooms. Vasepace says, the Steve B3. Oh, did I miss him? Hi. I didn't know you were here. The Texas A&M was never able to make them have white meat. Only feathers are white. Okay, you guys must have been talking about something that you guys were talking about before. Andy Rabbit, don't forget the thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, we have 16 people and 19 thumbs up, so I think we're all thumbed up. Ice trackers. Thank you, Verna. So, yeah, ice trackers, diamond grip ice trackers or crampons. Those are the things. Oh, Witch Doctor says Las Vegas got snow. Wow. Yeah, I know LA, Los Angeles was under a watch advisory. I don't remember what the second part of that was. It was just shocking enough that they might have a blizzard. And I actually haven't seen any news from that. So there you go. Oh, someone did do a thumbs up. Reminded somebody. And how much did you get is the question, Witch Doctor. And Steve says keep it there. Steve, you are trying to get no snow, aren't you? Don't think you're out of it. Ed says, Verna, I talked to Jasmine and ordered the different solutions and such to do it. Now just waiting on her for feet. Oh, okay. You're going to be doing crafts. Yeah. Dawn says Illinois campground ones are horrible, and to so many people. Oh, to fit so many people in them was not fun. I am sure that was a terrible experience. Being lifted off by a tornado would probably be worse though. Andy Rabbit says, I seen some slip over the shoe ice spikes on Amazon the other day. Yeah, that's what these are. It's like the old style roller skates that go around your shoe. I think a lot of these ice things are like that, where it's not a separate shoe. It's adds on to that. Yeah. All right, Ed's gonna take some pictures of things. Wishbones. Yeah, I was thinking about keeping wishbones when I was getting them out of the jar. When I canned the quail and we were tasting it, I was thinking about keeping those. I'm like, I'll just make bone broth out of them. But wishbones would probably be good to keep, for crafts. Truck 3 Warden says, I have some kind of things for ice, but they don't fit on my new insulated rubber boots. So I use a lot of wood ashes and salt. Okay. The only thing with salt is it's going to salt like the ground around where you are. And if it goes down to the water table or into your garden or something, then it might not be good. Yeah. Better for your lawn and gardens than salt is. Yeah. Oh, coffee grounds are great on ice, spent coffee grounds that you've dried. Yeah, basically anything that's dry, right? And has a little bit of grip. Yeah. Yeah, you're better for your lawn than salt is. Yeah. Ed says, but it will be a bit before I get to it. Need all the components to show up. That is the trick. Andy Rabbit says, oh, that 1989 earthquake was fun. Not. Where were you, Andy Rabbit, when you said you had that, and what was the number? What was the level of it? I got 6 months. Ed is our crafting king here. For anybody that doesn't know, Ed's always doing something crafty. Hey, Dawn set your eggs yesterday. We're gonna have babies that are about the same age then. Yay. Ed says when I get the stuff, it won't take long. 24 hours or less to do it. Awesome. German Shepherd dog. Oh, why is there a D on it? Because I'm sure we're not talking about German Shepherds that have sheep. German Shepherds are great. I like German Shepherds. I like all dogs. The yippy ones I can do without, but real dogs. Oh, Dawn, they'll be hatching when I'm at the North Pole. Oh boy. Oh boy. Dawn, I'll still get to see your hatch through. I'll still okay. Got 21. Awesome. I see 20. You see 21. That's good. Thanks, Verna. Verna says, when I was a kid, our station wagon was lifted by a tornado and deposited a block further than than where we were heading. Only damage was to the engine hood. Wow. Were you in it or were you not in it? I'm hoping that you were not in it because that would be a major memory. I mean, it's still a major memory, but if you're in it, that'd be another thing. Don says, Andy Rabbit, I hope so. I will be wondering about the Egyptians. Wow, that was lucky to have just the hood damage from Don. Yeah. Concord. Okay. 8.9. Wow. 1989. I was very small then, but I was in Oregon, and yeah, so I didn't feel it at all. It says, what was the other one where the interstate collapsed on top of each other? In California, it was 1900 something, 06, 06, 03, something. Yeah. Vaseway says, I was in it laying in the back and only kid awake. Wow. You were in it? That is tremendous. I bet you don't like roller coasters. I wouldn't like roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters. But wow. That is tremendous. And the only one awake. Everybody else slept through it? That's even more amazing. 6.9 in 1989 in California. You're saying 6.9 instead of whatever you said before, 8.9? Yeah. Okay. Collapse in Oakland. Okay. 1983, there was a quake that was felt in Toledo, Ohio. It was a 4.0. I am also in 1983. I was in Illinois, working in Illinois when there was a quake on the Illinois and Indiana border. When was that? It was a 5.0 or 5 point something. And we didn't feel it on the ground floor. We were quite a ways away from where it was. We didn't feel it on the ground floor, but there was one person on the upper floor at work, and everybody had a dog there. They all hunted during hunting season. Just work started an hour late. That's the type of place it was, and everybody brought their dogs to work. But he was up there, and most of the dogs happened to be up there as well. And all the dogs started freaking out, and he said that it was swaying. We couldn't feel it at all on the ground floor, which is interesting. Yeah. Andy Rabbit, your dad still has a piece of the collapse road. All right, there we go. Base place. I hate roller coasters. I would trust a tornado before I trust a roller coaster. Yeah, I don't want to either. Ed says, no, Katrina, it was in the 80s or 90s that happened as I watched it on the news. Okay. Yeah, you're not that old, Ed. Don's youngest kid was born in 1980. All right. Katrina, I was in the basement apartment when that quake hit. I felt it and freaked out, put a crack in one of the walls, Faceplace says. Yeah, I think that was the one that my grandpa was driving on an interstate, and he didn't know what was going on because he was moving. He was in motion, and he thought that someone hit him. I think that was the one. Yeah. Yep. Andy Rabbit says, I was almost on the road that collapsed. Wow. Thank goodness I decided I didn't want to go. Otherwise, we would have been on that road. Wow. There are stories of just having a feeling. And if you have a feeling that you don't want to go somewhere or you want to go somewhere else, definitely pay attention to it. I mean, the garlic festival that there was, the shooter at, I was at that and I left. I usually stay until the very end. I'm dancing with there's 3 different stages and all that. And I'm usually, there till the very end. And for some reason I left early. Not that early, just a few minutes early, but I heard the shots. I wasn't inside though. And so definitely pay attention to your instincts for sure. Truck 3 Warden says, my youngest was born in 1983. Katrina, you're a youngster. Yay. Yeah. Okay. Steve, we are the young ones here. Aaron says. Basically says, my kids were born in 77 and 87, granddaughter in 97. Wow. Ed says, the worst disaster of the quake was the collapse of the double-deck Cypress Street viaduct of Interstate 880 in West Oakland, the failure of 1.25 mile section of the viaduct. Wow. Oh, Steve had one this morning, 2.1 at 2 a.m. this morning in Arkansas. You'd be surprised how often they occur. Yeah, the small ones occur more often, which is good, I guess. Yeah. I could imagine it seemed like he got hit. Andy Rabbit says, yeah. 1989. And Andy says, Steve, you're only 3 hours from me. Sills and Squeals is 2.6 earthquake, 30 miles from me in Point Pleasant, West Virginia on the 18th. Wow. I didn't feel nothing. 2 points. The 2 points are, some people don't feel them. Some people don't feel the 3 points. If it's like a 3.5, that's when people kind of wake up to that. But I know, like, if you're laying in bed or laying on the floor, you're more likely to feel it. And then, the bigger earthquakes are much different. Yeah, we had an earthquake. I did a video. I don't even remember when that was. It was last year sometime. We had, I think it was a 5, 6, something. I don't remember. That was the last earthquake that I remember feeling that was like a actual, like, not a 1 or a 2. Yeah. Ed says there's an earthquake app. Yeah, I know there's a website. I'm sure there's an app, but I actually, for this last one, I actually got a warning on my phone, which was pretty interesting. It literally was the warning. I look at the phone, and right when I registered what it was, that's when it started shaking. So they're getting better at sending out warnings for all sorts of things, which is great. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, my dog can tell me when a quake is going to happen. Absolutely. Pay attention to your animals for sure. For sure. JJ says the small ones kind of make me dizzy. Maybe because maybe that's a normal condition for you. No. Yeah, it could be that your body is not figuring out what's going on. Your brain isn't figuring out what's going on with your body because your brain hasn't told your body to move and it's moving. I'm going to guess that's probably why. That's just a guess. That's what I would answer on a test. Steve says, I just thought someone was heavy walking, but everyone is asleep. Yeah. It says, we have a quake here 10 years ago. We didn't feel it at work, but my wife works in a high rise and they noticed her blinds in her office were swaying all over the place. Yep. All right. We're going to get into the topic of the day, which I don't know if it's going to be a very long topic. It's pretty much, I have a question for Andy Rabbit. But we'll get to that after there's 2 more comments. Stills and Squeal says that's normal for real hillbillies. He's laughing at you, JJ. Andy Rabbit says, Katrina, it's funny, a small earthquake out here I feel every time, even if I'm asleep. No one else might, but I live my life with them, so I know when one happens here. I feel them more often than other people here too. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So Steve's saying, okay, pay attention, Andy. You're being called on. I have tribe. All right. So my question is to anybody who has rabbits, obviously Andy Rabbit has rabbits, but my question is to anybody who has meat rabbits. And we butchered this Saturday and Sunday, and I noticed something that I don't think I fully noticed before. And sometimes the skin slips off real easy, sometimes it's a little tougher, and it's just like, it's the rabbit. I started noticing after the first few that the males seem to have tougher connective tissue. And I don't know if that is just me making something up or if that is something that is true out in the world of rabbits. So let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experiences. If you've processed a litter and it's tougher, it's not like hard, but it's tougher to bring down and skin, if it's a boy, or if it is, or if you just notice that within a litter there are different toughnesses of that tissue. Anyway, that's my question. Andy Rose says, yes, I'm on the spot. Pop quiz, Steve says. JJ says, I never ate rabbit. I used to draw and paint them, but never ate them. They're good. They are most similar to chicken, to something that you would know. And they are very good. They are all white meat and very low in fat, very good in nutrition. It's all good. Yeah. I recommend it. Okay, Andy Rabbit. God, yes, they do. Okay, so that's a confirmation, huh? Because I had noticed before, oh, this is really tough. This is really easy. This is really tough. This is really easy. And I got to thinking, when I pet Parmesan, which is the buck, and maybe he's just tenser, I don't know, but he's always like a little bit more tense when I pet him, like back here. And the girls, they're a little bit more loose. And I'm like, I wonder if that's a thing. So let's see what else other people said. Aaron says, I've never noticed a difference between males and females. Let me know the next time you process and if you see a difference, because I don't know if there is or not. I don't know if it's just my brain or just coincidence or what. But Andy Rabbit says yes. So maybe. Let me know, Aaron. I'm curious. Vase Place says, Aaron, that is probably because you are male and stronger. There's a clear difference between the ones that come off easy and the ones that don't. I don't think it's a strength. I'm pretty strong, but I don't think it's a strength thing. I think it's an actual, there is a difference in the connective tissue. JJ says, had squirrel and gator, but no bunny. Bunny is recommended. Steve says, rabbit is tasty fried. Andy Rabbit says, I had a male that when putting my finger under the skin, it almost pinched my finger in it. Wow. Yeah, it seems that they're much more tighter. Those also, the hardest part about skinning a rabbit is the ankle, right? Cutting around the ankle so you can take it down. And sometimes I miss that back part, or it has that connective tissue right there on the back half is really tight. And there was one this time where I, usually you put a slit and you just pull it down. And it's like, why is this not pulling down? It was very, very weird. But I'm glad I'm not crazy. That or me, just Andy Rabbit and I are. I don't know. Good. Thank you for validating me, Andy. Witch Doctor says, I need some rabbit pelts. I have failed at trying to do them because I forget about them. And I need to set reminders and all of that. So I'm going to be doing a small amount of them, put the rest in the freezer, do a small amount of them, and go from there. Make sure I can get the process smooth, and then go from there. I think I was trying to do big batches before, and it like a whole litter or two. Yeah. Stills and Squeals says it's just testosterone. I don't know. Could be. These were 12-week-old. So processing, and actually ours range at 12 weeks old, California and New Zealand mixes. They were between 6 pounds and 7 pounds, averaging at 6.5. That's not true. There was one. Okay. The ones that we processed were that. And I think one of the females that we kept was 7.25 pounds, and one was, I think, just under 7. So we kept the right ones. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Andy. JJ says, I love rabbit pellets. Oh, did you say pelt? Oh, you said pelts. Okay. I love rabbit pellets in the garden. Well, then why are you having your dog chase them off? Dawn says, I love fried rabbit. My dad used to raise them, and he gave me lots of rabbit meat in the 80s. I have not done fried rabbit yet, but the best way so far, I mean, I like canned rabbit too, because you can add it to anything, right? But the best way so far is to cook it on your dashboard in the car, and I'm not kidding. If you haven't seen that video, that is the best way to cook rabbit or quail, in my opinion. But you can't do it in winter. You got to wait till summer. Andy Rabbit says the back legs don't seem to want to let go easy on the buck sometimes. Yeah, and sometimes like I'm not checking them as I go, but I'm like, oh, there's your parts. And I'm like, well, that's why. That's good to know. It's probably the oddest topic of discussion. I don't know if it is or not, but it's pretty odd. Aaron says we typically butcher 15 to 20 at a time, and we skim them in minutes. Yeah, once you get the ankle done, it's super, super fast. And it always takes me longer. You've done a lot more than I have, but it always takes me longer the first couple to be like smooth at it. But once you get the ankles, it's pretty fast. But pay attention, Aaron. Just pay attention and see. I'm curious if you see a difference. And Gidro says, I'm only in charge of keychains and dog treats. Oh, boy. Aaron says, Katrina, we use the feet for keychains, so we cut off the feet first. Yeah, I saved the feet. I actually have some in alcohol right now, but I am doing that, and I saved the ears, I saved the head, and the tails. Actually, I was saving the tails separately and kind of doing them with the feet, but this time I saved them. I got them to come off with the pelt, so I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way or cut them off. Anyway, I got them to do it that way, and there you go. The end of that story. JJ's laughing at you. Steve is asking, does Gidros have a website? Good question. Christina makes wonderful keychains. Awesome. Yeah, I'm planning on doing that as well. Like, I don't really feel the need to have a rabbit keychain or rabbit foot keychain, but I'm okay with using that part of the animal for someone else to find use for it. So try to use all of the animal, right? Yeah. And Ed says, I've seen an air gun used to skin animals. You put a slit in the hide and fill with air like a balloon. It separates the hide from the body. Interesting. What size animals? Like squirrel or rabbit or deer? What size? Because that would be, it's interesting. Aaron says, Steve, that's on my 2023 goal list. Oh, the website. Yeah, it's my goal list too. His website. Steve says, I need to get one for me and James. A website or a gun. We don't know. Oh, you did? Okay, Aaron says he used to use the air gun for deer skinning. I have never heard of this. Andy Rabbit says, I let my rabbits get older because I want the hides, so I don't butcher at 8 weeks. Mostly the older they are, the tougher they seem. I thought it might just be me too, Katrina. I haven't asked anyone. Start asking those questions. Hey, speaking of questions that are weird, You guys remember when I asked you guys the question of whether the male quail poop is stickier than the female quail poop? Did you guys experience this and internalize it so you can report back? We hypothesized that it might be because of the foam. Anybody? Yeah. Ick. I haven't seen anything. I just see JJ saying ick. It does. Andrew says it does seem the dough slipped off way more easily. So Katrina, you hang by the back legs too. Then yes, yep. I have. So when I bought the rabbits I bought them from. It was basically a 4-H project, and she had like all this stuff, and she had a hopper popper, so that's what I use, and the little leg thing that comes with a hopper popper. Like I think it's like the official one that you buy. You don't have to buy it, but they came with the rabbits, so that's what I use. Yeah. And Base Play says, Katrina, how long do you have to soak them in alcohol? Not as long as they have been soaking. I don't know. I don't remember. They've been in the alcohol for quite some time. I went off of Slightly Redneck's YouTube channel. He has some instructions on how to do that. So that's what I was going off of. And then I got waylaid and forgot about them, and they're still in the jar. But they're in alcohol, so they're still good. Alcohol is a preservative. Andy Rowe says 24 hours or longer if you forget. Yeah. Vase Place says I got one of I think Christina's, right? Not me. Rabbit foot keychain and one of the rabbit's tail keychains. Awesome. I'm planning on turning the tails into cat toys. The ones that are not attached to the pelts. I think that would be fun. Ed says any should be any size, but I saw it on a deer, I think. Okay, so the air rifle. I'm gonna have to see if anybody did a video on that. Aaron, did you do a video on that? Gidro says as Steve. Oh, okay. They're gonna send ick because we're talking about poop. Sorry, not sorry. Steve says I ain't playing in no quail poop any more than necessary. I didn't say play in it. When you're cleaning it, how well does it come off? That was from way back when, so maybe some people here don't know what I'm talking about. I ain't playing in poop if I don't have to, Andy Rabbit says. Man. Aaron says Steve air guns are used for alligator skinning as well. They use the pre-made hole on its underside. Aaron. Dawn says, no, I haven't had any molting going on since that video to see if that's the foam or not. I don't get babies to molt until the end of this month. Okay. My girls are molting right now, and they were scared from the storm, and I saw one egg today. They stopped pretty much right after the storm. The next day, we got 8 eggs from one aviary and 7 eggs from the other. The next day, we got 4 from one and 3 from the other. I didn't even look yesterday. And then like today, I mean, I didn't search around. I didn't see any. And then today I saw 1. So any bets on when they'll start laying again? I know it's 2 to 3 weeks usually when that happens. I've only had it happen twice. Once when like my original 6, one of them died. I think because of a heart attack because the neighborhood cat was going after it from the outside of the aviary. And then this time. So yeah, no eggs for a little bit, but I have eggs from before, so it's okay. And this is mojito tangerine tea. I know Verna's going to ask me. I'm drinking up my tea that people gave me, so I can only grow my own tea. All right. Steve says, "Oh, neat, blow up alligator. Can you use helium?" Oh boy, you don't want to scare the children. You're also being laughed at by JJ. Yeah, base place. I figured you did. That's fine. That's fine. Like we talked about before, we're used to being called by the wrong names. Oh, you jumped. Let's see. Aaron says, I still haven't noticed a difference in male and female quail poop. I did notice that my jumbo whites poop so much that it clogged the bottom of my hatching time cage. Wow. Okay. Good to know. Andy says, my cat loves the feet as toys. I find rabbit's feet all over my house. The rooms I don't go in often, I'll find many under the door. Oh boy. Oh man. Ed says, I learned how to skin on my own, did a roadkill raccoon, got everything, eyelashes, nose, just like it stuffed out of the skin. Yeah, I did a badger, which is at the school here. And I was kind of upset because I went through the process of turning the paws inside out and getting everything out. You know, they have the fat pads and everything and all of that. So it was going to be like an example of here's the paw. And we apparently, the person I was doing this for, they sent it off to a tanner and they cut the paw open and tanned it like that. It's like, could you just not do that, please? And so yeah, that it took me tons of time to do that, folding inside out and all of that. Now you want an animal with connective tissue, badger. They can basically turn around in their skin. I'm gonna see what base place had here. Oops, something went wrong. Okay, something went wrong with the link there. Psycho Ward says, I did notice my jumbo whites eat a lot more than my SLL. Oh, than all. Sorry, that's an A. Than all my other quail. So that's probably why they poop more. Probably. Dawn says to Andy, haha, you have a rabbit feet all over your house. That is funny. I bet they are great cat toys. Yeah. Best cat toys, she says. Base Place says, seems to me that jumbo whites do not eat as much as jumbo wilds. Interesting. Andy Rabbit says, the other day I went into a room. I thought there were mice at my feet for a second. He had 12 under that door. I think maybe it's time to thin the herd of rabbit feet in your house. Spoiled cat. Psycho Word says, I think my whites are bigger than my browns. Yeah, I mean, probably the bigger they are, the more they eat, the more they, shoot out the other end. So, yeah, it's still something wrong with that link. It says, oops, something wrong. Sorry, Vern, I can't open it. Yeah, so anyway, we have interesting thing there. So thank you, Andy Rabbit, for confirming what my theory was. And Aaron, you're gonna have to pay attention. Let me know. Because I am curious if anybody else is experiencing these things. All right, so we're going to say, what's a question? What's something you guys have observed like that, or like, this poop thing that I observed? What's something that you think you're observing that you don't quite know if you're actually observing, or if this is just something you're picking up on? I want to know, because we can talk about it. We can share information and say, no, you're not crazy, or, we haven't figured that out yet. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Steve. It works here. Oh, it's for the skinning. I'll look it up. Thank you. JJ says, oh, I just said that. Psycho War says, I feel like I'm going to have to get some more browns from Zach. He's done some work this year on his browns, which is the Pharaoh, which is the wild. all the same names, or all the same bird for different names. He's done some work on them. for their size. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says that cat found my box of dried rabbit's feet one day. I woke up to rabbit feet all over the house. Man, he thought he was a millionaire, right? He was probably doing the money in the air thing with the feet. I can imagine a cat doing that. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it might not work because of the live stream. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, but I'll look up. Too cute, JJ says. Yeah, I can picture the kitty like in the box throwing up feet. Oh, it knocked you out of the chat. I was right clicking on it and open a new tab. That's what I was trying to do. But yeah. So Andy Rabbit has something I've been seeing. This is my jumbo eggs are not much bigger than my standard eggs. I would have to agree with you that some of them, I would say that some of the jumbo's eggs are larger and some of them are not. I think the standard eggs, because I got most of my individuals here and their parents, most of them are from my shire. And I think they generally have big eggs. So like their standard eggs are bigger eggs. I think that's probably true. I think probably some of the other breeders are not breeding for those, they're finding pretty colors, and concentrating on that. Whereas, different things. So anyway, that's just a thought that I have, is that I think it's because of the stock and not necessarily standard versus jumbo. That's my thing. But I would agree with you. But I still get double yolkers from both aviaries. There's one girl in each one that does that fairly consistently. Yeah. SSO Swanson says, I have to hunt and search for a standard egg. I get mainly jumbo eggs, hard to put in my incubator that way. So I have a trick which I would show you, but it's already in the incubator. Do you have quail rails? Is that what you have? Or do you have like another type of roundabout thing? If you have, like, you've probably seen videos of mine. I have the one that fits in the Hovabator or Little Giant. Mine's a Hovabator. You can pop those out and rearrange them. You're only going to be able to fit 100 in, but you can rearrange them so they don't crack, and they'll go like this and not crack. They have enough space because it comes with 120 slots if you put all the rails in, and those are right next to each other. So when they turn, they actually, they can crack because they're bumping into the next rail. So that's what I would recommend is, unless you're doing tons and tons of them, you can do a little bit larger eggs if you just take out one of those rails. Hope that's helpful. I have not done a video on it, and I need to. And I said, oh, I'm going to do a video on that, and then I put eggs in it. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Andy Rez says it was like a cat finding the bag of catnip. Yep. Psycho Ward says, Andy, I had that happen to me, so I added a higher protein, like 25%, and my eggs got bigger. Really? The actual size of the egg got bigger. How long did that take to happen once you started feeding them more protein? Steve says, I don't have Celadon, only eggs with spots develop. My plain colored eggs do not develop. Your plain colored eggs don't develop. See, I don't have any Celadon either. So you're saying like the ones that have the ink runs out, they don't develop? I wonder if there's something nutritionally happening with that. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Because those spots, I forget what it's called. I looked it up at one point, but it's an actual like separate thing. Like it's not blood. Some people think it's blood. It's not blood. It's some actual thing. I don't remember what it's called. But it might be a nutrition thing. I don't know. Vaseplay says Zach said last night that he doesn't incubate any over 18 grams. Yes, he did. That is true. And I keep forgetting this. And I have not been weighing my eggs, but now I can because Verna got me a scale. That does not go by tons. JJ says, I am hatching 3 eggs that look to be blue inside. Well, we'll see what happens. See what you have inside. I think there's some that look blue no matter what, and then there's some that look blue when they're wet. So I don't know. Let's see. Eso Swanson says, yes, quail rails. I have the styrofoam too. I don't have two extra holes that you do. My problem is fitting them side by side. Oh, you just have to rearrange them so that they fit. Yeah, and that's how Vaseplay does it too. Yeah. It's funny because it took me forever to find a video on how to do it, and it really wasn't that great. So I really should. I had to take out the rails. I was like, I'm gonna break this. Yeah. Let's see. Eso Swanson says, on the double rows, I do large in the back and standard in the front. Only way they fit. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I have found out my large 19 to 23 gram double egg layer is not a jumbo. I don't know what one it is, but she is a standard. She is in the standard cage. Yeah, I've had standards and jumbos do that. I don't think there's a difference. Yeah. That one really huge one, I think, was from a jumbo. I would have to review. Andy Rabbit says, Psycho Award, what did you use for protein? Baseplay says, have Manuel go grab the scale and a few eggs so you can weigh them in grams. He went to visit his girls, so he's not here anymore. Psycho Word says, I mixed 3 different bags together of crumble from my local stores so that way I had a higher protein rate and all my eggs started to get bigger. I mixed 30% protein with a 20% protein and a 16% protein, and it seemed to do the trick. Okay, so you added protein out of a bag, like you didn't add cat food or something like that. You added just different starter food or something. Yeah. Andy Rapp says, that's cool. I have been wondering about something for higher protein. Yeah, I think some people do cat food. I don't know what. I'm not going to recommend any of that. I would watch my Shire videos for that. My 16% has been doing good with my birds. When they're young, I use a 27% turkey starter because that's what's available at the feed store that I go to. And 16% layer feed with a side of limestone grit, and they're good. They have their sandbox too. So yeah. Yep. Steve says, I'll have to start weighing my eggs too. I just pick big and smooth, spotted and clean. Yeah. Hey, Yusuf is here. Welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm here eating a fillet to fish. Okay. That took too much brain power, Yusuf. Hoping everyone is having a good day and evening. I think we are. Everybody's safe from storms. We had a lot of storms. Hopefully you were safe from storms. Vaseplay says, in the beginning, when I could only get chick starter feed, I used 3 pounds of chick feed and 2 ounces of protein cat food. Okay. Everybody's saying hi to Yusuf. Dawn says, the breeder I got my last 2 batches of eggs from told me to mix my 28% starter with 16% egg layer to get 22%, which is what she feeds. But when I questioned it in a group, everyone told me not to. I was questioning if it diluted the calcium percentage. Okay, let's go back up. The 28% starter with 16% egg layer. If you do that, like if calcium is the nutrient that's lacking, that's pretty easy to put out there for them. You can get oyster shell or cuttlebone is something you can actually like put in the cage. I think you do cages, I think, right? And you can do that and they can just scrape it off when they want it. And then what I do is I offer a limestone grit. It's called bird grit. Like the people at the feed store don't know when they say, oh, it's limestone. I don't remember what it was called. It was limestone and grit. They don't know what that is. They just call it bird grit. I had to convince him that he had it. I'm like, show me where your grit is. I'll tell you what it is. Yeah. And so that would be a less concern because you can give them some sort of calcium outside of their food. Just make sure you offer it, and you don't mix it in. Just put it on the side, and it's funny. Sometimes they empty it really quickly, and sometimes they don't touch it. So I don't know. Freezer's saying hi. Dawn's hey, Chelsea's here. Good evening, all. Listening while I load freeze dry trays. Awesome. Chelsea, did you end up going to the Scion Exchange? I did not because I didn't feel like driving with all the rain and yug and gunk and freezing and all of that. Hopefully you had fun if you went. Good group of people. Yusuf says we are getting 4 to 8 inches snowstorm. Yusuf, remind me where you are. What state are you in? Because PJ says that she's getting a storm. I think somebody else did too. I don't remember. Cycle Wars says I got a bag of cat food and ground it up in a blender and mixed that in with the regular bags of crumble. Okay. Yeah, Verna's saying stay safe. I think we all are saying the same thing. Stay safe. Did you get any snow? Yusuf is asking Verna. Dawn says the calcium is lower in the starter than the layer, 16%. I do give grit and oyster shell in the cages anyway, but I also wondered if it would make the jumbos too heavy. I don't know. I mean, you're gonna have protein, extra protein in the starter, and you're gonna have to do the math. Like there could be issues with mixing things. Just make sure you know that what the mix makes. So like 16% plus what is it? I don't remember what you said, 20 something. 16%, let's say 25%. Like you mix that together, it's not going to necessarily divide by 2. Like you have to do the math for every nutrient and make sure the nutrients are right. And then if it's off, you might have to adjust it. Yeah. Heavy. Yeah. Yeah. Base Place did not get snow, but a tornado warning. We talked tornadoes earlier. Everybody out there is having weather. Ed says, bag me a critter possum in my animal trap control. Oh, animal control on the way. Now 6 more cats to go. Good luck. Okay, you skip that. Everybody safe? Chelsea says, I had to work. I never work on Saturdays, but my husband and kids went and came home with a few goodies. Awesome. I'm glad that they were actually able to go. I could have gone, but I ended up processing some rabbits and getting some other stuff done that I needed to get done that I wouldn't have gotten done. And I was considering actually going to that one, and then on Sunday was a Sacramento one, and I'm just like, I'm not going anywhere with all this craziness. So I'm glad they had fun. Hopefully they picked out some good sticks for you. And yeah, hopefully they're in the refrigerator all sealed up and you'll be ready soon. She says, take all my possums to Walmart. Oh boy. There's always next Saturday. No, so we're talking about a Scion exchange that happened near her this last Saturday. So they'll be next year. And I think the one on Sunday in Sacramento, I think was the last one. I don't pay attention to like, I think Orange County has one and stuff like that, but I don't pay attention there because I'm not planning on going down there. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I bought a 50-pound bag of oyster shell today. I keep getting an egg that has a soft spot on them. I'm not sure if it's just one hen, but I bought some just in case. Yeah, the good thing about that is if you offer on the side, they'll just like take what they need. Yeah. Yusuf says, my chickens are growing 3 weeks now. Quail eggs from JM Farms in the incubator, 40 jumbo browns, 40 jumbo whites. I am soon building a 7x8 shed chicken coop. Awesome. Yusuf, I'm so glad that you're jumping back into this. That is so awesome. Great job. Great job. Vaseface said, I had a hen way back when that always laid soft shells no matter how much calcium she had. She could not process the calcium. Yeah, some of them just have, genetic issues that, they just can't do it. Yeah. Yusuf says, if you have something to crush the oyster shells with, you can actually get the actual shells. Okay, for very cheap, like less than $1 a pound, you think you can crush it on your own. So what you're saying is that instead of buying a bag of oyster shells, it's going to be cheaper to buy the actual whole shell and then crush it yourself. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And Vaseplay says that was before I met Zach. Yep. Now you know a whole lot more. Now all of us know a whole lot more because of Zach. Yeah. Very cool. What year did you meet Zach? To Bay's place? Yusuf is asking. Good question. So already waiting for that answer. So I did share, and we got I think one question. Questions that you think you're observing something that you're not sure you're observing, or you think you might be like, oh, I have an idea that this might be going in this direction. We want to hear what those are so that we can help everybody and see if we're not crazy together. Like Andy Rabbit confirmed I wasn't crazy about my one thing. So I want to help you guys kind of ask those questions that the observational questions that you have, and let us know because they're fun to talk about. Baseball says, Freezer, I'm not sure. I know when I met him for the first time in person, that was nearly 3 years ago. I have known about Zach for much longer. Yeah. Yep. Andy Rabbit says, I don't have any way to crush the whole shell. It was just $12 for a 50-pound bag. Not too bad. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Men? I don't know what you mean by men. Yeah. So, anyway, I have not. So Manuel and I haven't actually sat down and looked at the list of rabbit names that you guys produced for us. I think it was last week. So we are going to be looking at hopefully tonight. We'll see what time he comes back from his girls, but we'll be looking at that hopefully tonight, and then be putting that in the community. So I'm going to do a poll in the community section so you guys can vote on names. We're voting for two. So hopefully hopefully we'll get some good names out of this. We have a good list, which is good. I went and checked on them today. They're doing good. Last night was their first night with only them. They were sharing with a third roommate, but she got processed. And their neighbors got processed too. So they look like they're doing good. They're chewing on their chewing stick, having a good time. So I am going to be separating them. Maybe that's another question for my rabbit people, Andy Rabbit and Aaron and whoever else has rabbits. I'm going to be separating them into two separate hutches right next to each other, and I don't really know when to do that. I figure I can do it now, or I can do it in a couple weeks. But I figure they're pretty bonded now, but they'll still see each other through. Like there's just going to be hardware cloth in between them. I know that with Meatball and Tortellini, who is her mom, they often lay right next to each other. Through the hardware cloth because they have adjoining hutches. So I'm hoping that will be give them a sense of being together. Yeah. Base Place says Andy ball peen hammer. I don't know what you're answering. Oh, the to crush the shells. Yeah. Steve says in Maryland, along the shore, they make roads out of crushed oyster shells. Just go out and pick up the little bitty pieces. Steve, why don't you do that and see how well your business goes on selling that? I think you're gonna find your time might be a little more valuable. But if you live there, sure. I wonder if that would be a violation of something. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. That might work. Yusuf says, I saw Zach on another channel that was during my wave of researching about quail. At the time, I didn't even know what the difference of button and Coturnix, so I ordered button hatching eggs by accident. Yeah, they're different. They're different. Button are this big. I mean, Coturnix is still small when they come out, but it's big. Base Place says, Katrina, you did not put up the poll in the community tab. Yes, I know, because I haven't narrowed down the names yet, which is what Steve said. Yeah, we haven't talked. We're not going to put all the names that we talked about because that would be like a lot. Manuel and I are going to pick maybe 5 or 6 names, and we need 2 of them. So hopefully I'll do that by tomorrow. If I don't do it by tomorrow evening, somebody yell at me. Base Place says, Yusuf, I know what you mean. I didn't know about buttons until after I saw my Shire. Yeah. Oh, Steve says I'm 900 miles from there now. Yeah. My homework is a poll. Thank you for assigning me homework, Steve. It was my homework last week too. I don't have a dog, so I can't say the dog ate my homework. So, all right. Well, it sounds like we're winding down. I'm glad everybody is safe from the storms, and I'm glad everybody's doing okay. And hope you learned something. Hope you had fun. And I'm going to do a poll. Keep your eye out for the poll for the new rabbits' names. They are pasta themed or Italian food themed, and we'll keep on going. Base Place says, I got into quail when I was watching Keeping It Dutch and Hidden Heights Farm. Got my first egg from Hidden Heights. Awesome. All right. Anybody else have something else they want to talk about? Otherwise, we will hang up the phone. Give you a couple seconds to get your things typed out. Like I said, hopefully you guys had fun. And then next week is going to be exactly the same, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and on Monday. So we'll see you next Monday. All right. Looks like everybody got in. Oh, JJ says, bye. Nice seeing everyone. Yes, nice seeing everyone. And I hope you all have a wonderful week and enjoy this weather. Maybe enjoy your couch, right? All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we will see you next week. Have a good day.